When we go on vacation, we like to give a wrap-up videos. So we'll do like day one of, if this is the first time you're tuning into our videos, we'll do like a day of vacation, and then the video the next day will be a wrap-up of the previous day, where we can tell you thoughts and things that we
couldn't talk about what was happening.
Yeah, what was happening. Yeah.
If it's a little echo in here, this house has like echo.
Well, the reason it echoes is because there's the carpet.
There's nothing on the floor.
There's no carpeting.
Really not much on the wall.
No, it's a wood floor, and it's really nice, but there's no carpet to absorb
there's nothing to absorb the echoes.
Yes, so that's why we're echoey.
Yeah, if it's echoey, it may be fine for you.
It may be completely fine. We've got you sitting at the bar, which I really like the setup. I wish we had a bar at our house.
I do too. Well, I don't know where we put it, but yeah.
No, it's really nice. It feels nice. Kind of high.
It's high, but it's cool.
It does. It feels cool
nice
on our hands. So we got awoken at 4 in the morning. I had my alarm set for 4:50. 4:50. And I got a text at 4, so I was I heard it, and then I just laid there. And then about 4:15, I got another text from the same person, and I thought it was Ashley. Well, so I thought, I'm just
because Ashley was picking us up in the morning.
So I thought, I'm just going to go on and get up. Well, it was not Ashley at all. So anyway, so we got up at it was about 20 after 4 that we got up this morning. And we went
to bed at 12.
It's just after 9. Yeah, we went to bed after 12. It's just after 9 right now. So if we look haggard, that's why. But Ashley picked us up, and it was extremely foggy.
It was really foggy.
Very
like in our area of town, it wasn't that bad, but then as we got more and more towards Lexington, it just got thick where you couldn't hardly see the headlights or the taillights in front of you.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was bad. It was bad. Actually,
you couldn't hardly see the exit ramps.
No, it was really hard to see the exit ramps. So, but we made it to the airport, and
our flight took off fine. I mean,
everything
fog
was
didn't make any difference.
No, did not make any difference. So then
she even said when she was leaving, she texted us later and said it wasn't bad the way she drove home.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we went from Lexington to Georgia, and so when we got to Georgia, we hadn't eaten anything because
way too early.
It's way too early for us. When you get up that early, we're just not hungry. And so we had both thought we'll eat when we get to Georgia. We'll go to Chick-fil-A or something like that when we get to Georgia. When we got to Georgia, we only had 20 minutes before our next flight. So we went in one of those, it was like an ABC store or something. NBC store, and we bought 2 Kind bars and a Coke.
$10.
$10, but we ate those. And so then after 20 minutes, we got on that plane. And then the guy it was Kevin next to the window, and then me, and this guy sat down next to me. This guy had personality plus. I could have talked to him all day. I mean, and I did.
We talked the entire time.
We talked the entire time.
Literally the entire time.
We talked so long that we had been talking, and I didn't even realize that we'd been sitting there for at least 20 minutes, and the plane...
It was half an hour.
And the plane hadn't moved. We hadn't moved. We were supposed to have taken off.
We backed out, and then we sit there for like 10 minutes, and then they taxied out to the taxi. They taxied on the taxiway, the runway, and we sit there for another 30 minutes, and because it was so busy.
Me and this man, I'm saying a guy, but he was probably my age.
He was probably a little younger than you, but not much. He was probably late 40s.
He probably was younger than me. I don't see myself as old as I am, okay?
No, I mean, that's not that much younger than you, but late 40s anyway.
He was the most well-traveled
Yeah,
person,
he'd been everywhere.
very educated, could talk about all the places he had been, and he's a foodie. So he talked about like when he went, he said he feels like the best way to experience someplace when you go, take a food tour. So when he went,
But you have to be willing to try the food.
you have to be willing to try the food. So when he went to like Japan, he did a food tour. When he went to New York, he said there's a food tour in New York you can take. And he told me about this bus tour that you could take in New York. He said if you ever on a bus tour, he said it's called The Experience. That's the name of it. And I said I'm going to remember that, because not that I have any plans to go to anytime soon, but I'm telling you all in case you are. He said what the deal is instead of sitting on the bus forward, you're sitting on the bus sideways. And he said there's people along the way that work for the company who are plants out on the street, and it's a very interactive experience. So these people on the bus, maybe you're yelling at the people on the street and they're saying stuff, but he said it's very interactive. He thought it was wonderful, but I trust in him. He's just so educated and just so well traveled. But I kept asking him if he'd been here, and there. Anyway, we talked forever, but the plane took off late.
Yeah, it was like half an hour, 45 minutes late.
And then there was a lot of turbulence. So there was a little bit of turbulence on the first flight. And then there was
very little, but it was a little bit.
But it was a little bit. But then there was more turbulence on this next flight. And I told Kevin, I said, I felt sick. I mean, if I hadn't have been talking to this man, I'm glad he was there to talk to me, because if I hadn't have been worried about throwing up in front of him or something, I probably would have gotten sick. But because I would have been mortified if I had gotten sick, because I've never done that before. But I really did feel sick in my stomach. And then by the time we landed in Florida, we were supposed to have met our groom, Groom, right?
E.
Is it Grome?
I think so.
Go
ahead, keep talking.
That's the people that we had us.
Yeah, Grome.
Okay, I hadn't actually seen it. But those are the people who we had scheduled to pick us up at the airport to drive us to the villages.
Yeah, I think they were like almost exclusively with the villages. But they have shuttle buses every hour. So
right. So we missed the first shuttle.
The one we were scheduled for.
Yes, we missed it because our plane was late. So I
called them and told them what was going on. They said, well, you can just wait for the next one. And so he bumped me. He changed my schedule and put me on the next one. So it was no big deal.
So what we did, we had already walked through through the airport, past all these fast food places.
Because we thought we could be able to get on the bus.
Yeah, and I just was feeling sick. And there was just happened to be a Starbucks right there. And I said, Kevin, Starbucks, which we never go to Starbucks, but I said, Starbucks sells food. Let's get something from there. So we ate a slice of lemon loaf, which we've reviewed before, and it was really enjoyable. Yeah.
It was too expensive, but it was good.
And then we got on the bus and came here, and on the way, it downpoured. I mean, it was like we've experienced that at Disney before, where we've been going through the park and it's just like torrential rain
for like 20 minutes, then it went away.
And it was the same way on the interstate. Yeah. So but this guy was a really good bus driver, and he slowed down a lot. I was never scared.
Tammy talked to Zero the whole time. Seemed like she'd been talked out by the airplane. She wasn't.
I did. I think I'm a good conversationalist, though.
Yeah.
See,
he was talking. He was talking and answering you and bringing up stuff.
I think I can really detect when people aren't into it. If you're not wanting to talk, I can detect that. The guy on the airplane, he started talking to me. He's the one that started the conversation.
And he kept up the conversation because he would they would quiet down for a minute. Because I'm just sitting over there reading, so I'm just not having any of it. the conversation would quiet down for like literally 30 seconds, and then he would say something,
or I would say something.
Yeah, so it was a two-way
But it was
street.
the same way with the bus driver. So the bus driver actually lives in the villages, and so I was just asking him all kinds of questions.
But he would bring up stuff too.
He was bringing up stuff, and he was a people person. He's in the right job.
You could tell.
And he said that himself. He said, "I'm a people person, and my wife is not." But because he said we never have anybody over to our house because she's not a people person. But then we got here. They dropped us off at the Brownwood Hotel, and then somebody else took us to the sales office. And then at the sales office, we got to meet the guy who's, what do you call him?
He's like a sales agent,
sales
or something
agent.
like that.
You know, most people are coming down here wanting to buy a house.
Yeah.
Or they're wanting to move.
I mean,
here.
that's the ultimate goal.
That's the ultimate goal.
Is to see if you want to.
Is to see if you want, if you're interested.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. Is to see if there's any interest there.
That's why they call it a lifestyle visit. You try out the lifestyle for a week or so, and then
And you see if you like it or
see
not.
if you want to
Yes.
live that way.
So he picked us up and he brought us to the house, and he gave us a key. He gave us the garage door opener. He gave us a key to the bikes are locked up out in the garage. He gave us a key to that lock. He gave us a key to the golf cart.
Key to the house.
Key to the house. We did have to sign some documents saying that we would take care of the golf cart.
Yeah, we're liable for damages, that kind of stuff. I'm sure it's covered under our insurance, but still,
Right.
yeah, they have to cover their butts.
Right. And then we will make
Actually, surprised they didn't want a copy of my insurance card. Isn't that surprising?
No,
They didn't. Though.
Yeah, but we will see him in a few days because he's going to give us a tour. That's something that they do. They'll show you where they're building houses and where they already have houses and stuff like that.
I like it that he mentioned though, because you would think the sales agent for the villages would really be pushing all new.
Mm-hmm.
He had a whole booklet of previously owned houses, and he said a lot of these are 3 or 4 years old, and he said they're like new, but they're cheaper.
Right.
He said some of the bondsmen paid down. They don't cost as much. They may have had some upgrades made to them. I think that was neat.
I thought that was nice too. Yeah. He was very nice, very nice person. So then he left, and my biggest goal was food.
We were hungry.
I was hungry. And so we looked at the list. We are right next. We are literally, we can look out the window and see the Brownwood Hotel from where
and
we're
Publix.
at. And yeah,
Publix is like right there.
Publix is right here. But Brownwood is where
It's like right next
the
to it.
square is. We're right in the middle of that. So I looked at, there's a list. I looked at the list of what there was to eat, and we picked out Cody's a place to eat, and we went there. We got right in, didn't have to wait at all.
No, there was still tables. I mean, they were busy, but they weren't like.
They got busier as we were there.
But they still weren't packed. There was still room for people to eat.
But the food was delicious.
It was very good. They were even fairly quick. I mean, they weren't
Mm-hmm.
they weren't fast food quick, but they were sit down restaurant quick for sure.
And then we listened to the music down there for a little bit.
We walked a little bit around that square,
Right.
And then we sit down and listen to music for a little bit.
Yes, because they have free live entertainment every single night, 7 nights a week. Doesn't matter what day it is, they have free
Unless it's raining.
live
I think
entertainment.
if it's really raining,
If
they'll
the
cancel
weather's
it.
bad, they will cancel
Right.
it. So that does happen.
But that's at all. Well, there's 3 squares, and then there's one that's kind of the oddball market one down there, the Sawgrass Grove or whatever.
Right.
So all 4 of those have live entertainment every
Right.
day.
So
So go to the one you're close to.
we would they only do that till 9 o'clock. So it's from like 5 to 9 every single night, and we would have stayed until 9 o'clock, but they give you this house, but there's no food, there's no water, there's no drinks.
He
or
offered
anything.
to go to the store.
He did.
offered to take us
He
to
offered
the
to
store.
take us to the store, and I knew better than that because I knew I would want to look at everything.
Right.
and
He would feel rushed.
I would feel rushed.
Yeah.
And
Not
so,
that he was rushing us, but we would just
no,
follow
but
him.
I would feel that way.
And then he also said that we could follow him
Yeah.
if we wanted to.
Oh,
We said
he
it's
was-
okay, we could find it.
He was very,
Yeah.
very
He even
nice.
said, do you want me to go get you some waters?
Yes.
And we were like, no, we're going to go to the store, so it's
Yes,
okay.
he was extremely nice. But we listened to the music for a little while, and then we went to Publix. And we bought a bunch of stuff from Publix. I did a grocery haul, which you'll see who knows, it might be up before this video. It might go up before this video. It probably will.
And it might be really short, might be really long. We don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know what it's going to look like.
We don't know at this point.
But then we were back at the house, and we actually took a walk. So even though it's dark outside, there is each house has like a little street light.
That's all it comes on automatically, I guess.
Yeah, and it's actually really nice outside. If you've ever been to Florida at all, then once it gets like 7 o'clock or past,
Once the sun's kind of set.
it's so nice, and there's a nice breeze, and it just feels so good. So we're kind of in a confined like circle back here where we are. So we took 2 laps. It was a good 2 laps, but we took 2 laps around that circle, and then we've come back here.
I just said, I'm going to sit down for a
He
little
said,
bit.
I'm done. I'm done.
Traveling zaps me. I'm not doing anything beyond sitting in an airport or an airplane, but it's like, I don't know if it's like, it's stressful to me, so I'm like all pent up all day long until you get there, or I don't know what it is. It's just stressful.
I do want to say
Or
here,
it's just tiring, I should say.
I could leave this for the end of the video, but I'm not going to, because if I do, I'll forget. So any observations I have, I want to make them right now.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Because I'll forget. The thing that I've noticed, it's specifically about the golf cart. They do give you a golf cart. You have it free for the week. You don't have to, and if it needs gas, he said, we'll give you, let me know,
Yeah, let me
and
know.
we'll fill it up for free. I do think the villages should go ahead and pay for seatbelts.
Yeah.
Because golf carts don't come with seatbelts. And this was Kevin's first experience driving a golf
Yeah,
cart.
I think I was in one once.
Yeah, I was in my dad's. We rode with my dad.
We never actually drove one around any length of time.
So as people who have no experience with a golf cart and who don't, we know to be careful, but some people don't know. They can flip over really easy, or you could go around a corner and you could fly out because they do not come with seat belts. So
It's just open on the side.
It's open.
So you just fly
So
right out.
I think, honestly, that would be a suggestion that I would make.
Just a safety thing.
It's a safety thing. They should go ahead and put seatbelts in those golf carts.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And you said something else. You said a sun visor.
Yeah, they need little sun visors, because when we were going over to Publix, we were driving into the sun. Man, that sun was like right, it wasn't right in my eyes, but it was like right above there. If they'd had some flip down visors, but I don't even know if that would come standard in a golf cart.
I don't know that it would, but seatbelts don't come standard. And so, you have to get those added. But it would be I just think it would be a good investment
safety
because not everybody has driven a golf cart. And the golf cart really surprised Kevin.
Yeah, it's weird. It works weird. It works like a hybrid or one of those cars that turns off when
like
you stop.
in the UK. If you
Yeah.
live in the
Well, they have it here
UK,
too.
yeah, but they're more used to it. Not everybody
So
here
when you
has
stop, it turns the engine off. And then when you take your foot off the brake and give it gas, the engine starts up, and it takes it a second to go. There's always debate between gas and electric, and it could be that this is a rental. So they've got governors on there to keep it not from going too fast.
You cannot go fast at all.
No, so you're going slower than everybody else. And I wonder if that's part of it, because when you would stop, when you put your foot on the gas, you have to push it, and it kind of starts, it kind of goes, blah, blah, and then it kind of takes it a second to go. So there's a delay there, and it's weird. It takes some getting used to.
So
It's
we
really
don't
odd.
know if that's gas golf carts in general,
Or
or
if it's just
if
this
it's
one.
because it's this one. I think it's this one.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
could
think
be.
a regular golf cart completely stops like this one does.
Well, other people's were.
They were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere up there in the square, they were all stopping like that. They were all
I
turning
didn't
off.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more worried and wondering about that that initial stall, like when you give it gas, it just doesn't go for a second. You know, because I guarantee you, electric ones, you give it gas, it's gone. I mean, you give it the gas pedal, it's gone.
And most people are, you're allowed to go 25 miles an hour, and most people are going 25 miles an hour. Ours doesn't even have a speedometer in it.
No, we wouldn't know how fast it's
And
going.
so we don't know how fast it's going. Yeah, we don't know how fast or slow it's going. So
it could be going 15. I would.
that's probably why they don't have one in there, is so that you don't know how slow you're going. But that would be the only suggestion that I would make so far on day one, is that I really do think they should go ahead. They're making enough money down here, you know, selling these houses. I think they should go ahead and pay for the seat belts. Yeah. But it's been a good day.
Yeah.
We had fun. We have no idea what we're going to get into tomorrow.
No,
so.
he printed out like a little itinerary, like suggestions. You might look at that and see what he's saying to do on a Sunday.
Yeah, Kevin, we went over a bunch of stuff at home, and we had a really great list made. And
it was just a list of shows, though.
But
That's
it
the
was,
only thing
but it was also a list of stores I wanted to go to.
Yeah, I think we've
Kevin
seen.
forgot to print it
I
out.
think we know where most of them. I mean,
I think we do too. Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But hopefully these videos will interest you, because we're going to be here a whole week. We're going to be doing this all week long. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.